Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the first RF Crypto video of 2022. Wishing everyone a happy new year. Today we're going to speak about the general markets. Also going to be speaking about a little bit about leverage and how it's reacted to the options expiry of Friday, where $6.8 billion worth of options expired. Also, Shiba Inu launches a beta version of a DAO to give users more authority. Very, very interesting developments in Shiba, once known as a meme coin, or still known as a meme coin, but is gaining some traction at the moment. The fact that Salvadoran president expects Bitcoin to reach $100,000 in 2022. We'll also be looking at El Salvador's announcement that they're going to be releasing a $1 billion bond. This is November news, but it's relevant to the fact that he says that Bitcoin is going to reach $100,000 by the end of 2022. We're also going to be looking at how Bitcoin holdings of public companies have surged in 2021, not only Bitcoin, but other cryptos as well. Also, more billionaires are turning to crypto on the fear that inflation is rampant and is higher than what's actually being recorded. Finally, some NFT news. A big artist has purchased a massive NFT. So after reaching around $50,000 on Friday, a little bit prior to the options expiry, if you watch Friday's video, you'll see that I said that the price of Bitcoin is going to rally a little bit just before the options expire, and then once the expiration hits, it's just going to tank. And that's what happened. If you can see here, the price of Bitcoin tanked by almost 8% in the last 7 days, and most of this is attributed to Friday. But in the last 24 hours, it's only gone down by 0.5%, which isn't much. The global crypto market cap now stands at 2.24 trillion, which is a measly 0.11% increase over yesterday. The markets are moving laterally. It's actually quite boring. The only interesting thing here is Solana moving 1.7% down, which isn't that much actually. Today is quite boring. Nothing's happening in the markets. The news are quite stale. I think there's some consolidation going on. People reorganizing their wallets and their crypto holdings going into the new year. So, and Bitcoin's price is also hovering over 47,000. So we'll have to keep an eye on this going in the next few days. If any big news pops up, then this will be essential for the price of major cryptocurrency, especially Bitcoin, going into the first month of 2022. We know that on Friday, over $6.8 billion worth of options were expired. And all those options are leverage products, right? And on top of that, a couple of $1 million worth of futures also went on expiration, and they're executed automatically. Because the difference between futures and options, futures are derivative products that give you the right and the obligation to buy or sell a product, in this case cryptos, and Bitcoin more precisely, while options give you the rights but not the obligation to exercise or to buy and sell a crypto asset in this case. So if you are in a negative position when the options expire, you don't need to execute it. You can just let it expire. And the only cost that you'll have is actually the cost of creating that option. And that's a sunk cost, obviously. But at least you won't lose money by executing the contract. It's safer than futures, but it's also a bit more expensive. But I went a bit on a tangent there. But the most important thing here is that the leverage ratio still remains quite at an all-time high, almost at the all-time high. The Friday options expiry just caused a little bit of a dip, which is quite concerning because if leverage is at all-time highs and it's really high, we can postulate that any amount of bad news or any futures expiries or options expiries will lead to a big movement in the price of Bitcoin. If the market moves away that is not in line with the futures and options, let's say most of the options and futures are long, or they bet on the price of Bitcoin to go up, but then the price actually goes down, those options are going to get liquidated because they're going to hit their margin call and they're going to be worthless. There would be a decrease in the price of Bitcoin, and then once the derivatives, the futures and options, once they're also liquidated, it would cause an even further crash in the price of Bitcoin. So this is the danger of such high leverage ratios. Of course, it allows traders to trade more Bitcoin with less initial investment, but there's also the danger of higher losses. So if there's higher profit potential, there's also higher loss potential. That's just how risk works. Shiba Inu launches beta version of DAO to give users more authority over crypto projects. So Shiba Inu It was once known as a meme coin. I mean, it still is known as a meme coin, but now it's getting more utility because there are big names that are backing it. And they launched a beta version of a decentralized autonomous organization, which is a DAO. So a DAO doesn't have it's an organization that, just like your Microsoft and Apple, it is an organization. The power is not centralized with the board of directors. It's decentralized, and the people who hold their tokens or the members of this community are the ones who hold power, and they vote on what's going to happen or new developments in such projects. They launched this beta version of the DAO to give users more authority to decide on crypto projects and pairs on the Shiba Swap platform. So Shiba Swap platform is an upcoming platform in the Shiba Inu network that will allow traders to swap Shiba with other tokens. The DAO will use T-Bone for voting rights, which is a new staking contract to lock Bone for a longer period of time before voting begins. So the more T-Bone you stake, the more voting rights you get. It's both beneficial for the user and for the Shiba Swap platform because it allows the user to have more say in what they're invested in, but it also allows Shiba, the platform, to get more liquidity and give it more stability and give it the ability to develop new products since they have this liquidity and cash. And once this phase is complete, using community feedback, Shiba Inu will release a newer version called DAO 2, and this will allow community to make generic proposals for consideration or review by the multi-signature team and breeds. And these are the teams that are mostly in the management role, and when I say management, they're in the execution role. Whoever decides is the community itself. There has been a lot of movement in Shiba Inu. On December 22nd, Shiba Inu's price spiked after whales added to existing portfolio with one wallet, just one wallet, buying nearly $134 million of the token. So it was seen as a meme coin. People said it was going to die out, but with so much investment in it and quite a few developments going on, I don't see it happening. Salvadoran President Bukele expects Bitcoin to reach $100,000 this year. He's also said that 2 more countries will adopt the digital asset as legal tender. I mean, Bukele might be biased because El Salvador has Bitcoin as an official tender. So he obviously wants the price of Bitcoin to reach 100,000. But the fact that he states that 2 more countries will adopt the digital asset as legal tender is quite surprising, and it will be interesting to see if this is true, and it will be interesting to see which countries will actually follow the path of El Salvador. In September, this is when El Salvador embraced Bitcoin as a legal tender, and in addition to this, Bukele went a step further in November, and he announced plans to issue a $1 billion Bitcoin bond with a 10-year maturity on the Liquid network. The proceeds of this Bitcoin bond, obviously bonds are people, so retail or institutional investors will buy this bond and they'll get a monthly coupon payment. And the advantage to the buyer of the bond is that they get a monthly income, it's safe, and at the end of this 10 years they get their Bitcoin back. And the advantage to El Salvador is that they get this immediate $1 billion cash. And half of these proceeds are going to go to the construction of a new Bitcoin city along the Gulf of Fonseca near a volcano, which is in El Salvador. Looking more at this, the Bitcoin city will be located in the Gulf of Fonseca, and the government plans on locating a power plant by the volcano to provide energy for both the city and Bitcoin mining. If they can get geothermal energy from the volcano, it will be a Bitcoin city, smart, and using clean energy. So the mining that would happen there would all be clean. And the Bitcoin city will be a full-fledged metropolis. They want to make it a big city with residential and commercial areas, restaurants and airports, as well as a port and rail service. And the city will be laid out in a circle, like a coin, of course, and in the city center will be a plaza that will host a huge Bitcoin symbol. And this city, like Dubai, will have no income, property, capital gains, or payroll taxes. So half of this $1 billion will be used in the construction of this Bitcoin city, and it rests to see how well this plan will be executed, because El Salvador is known for its rampant corruption and fake promises, but this new president has put the money where his mouth is, so this might be possible. And the other 500 million will be to buy even more Bitcoin. So they want to build their Bitcoin reserves just because it's an official tender, and this makes perfect sense. Since we're now in 2022, and if we look back, Bitcoin holdings of public companies have surged in 2021. For example, Michael Saylor's MicroStrategy is a leading business intelligence firm and is known for being particularly bullish on Bitcoin. Michael Saylor loves Bitcoin. He's been in it since, I think, 2013. And MicroStrategy owns $6 billion in crypto assets. I mean, Michael Saylor also owns Bitcoin, but the company itself owns $6 billion worth of Bitcoin. The company has gained more than $2.1 billion in profits. This is only in crypto after its initial Bitcoin purchase in August 2020. Also, holdings of all spot ETFs on corporations together totaled almost 900,000 Bitcoin, which is worth about $40 billion. This is a lot of money that is being put in crypto by corporations. And I think this trend will become exponential as the years go on, as crypto becomes more accepted and as crypto becomes more integrated into your day-to-day financial matters. So it rests to see in 2022 which companies are going to add cryptocurrencies to their portfolio. If you have any companies that you think they might do this, please leave a comment of your predictions, and then we can come back to it at the end of the year and see if we were all right. More billionaires are turning to crypto on fiat inflation fears. So previously anti-crypto investors, so remember between 2013 and 2017, a lot of these billionaires were like, Bitcoin is a scam. Bitcoin is not going to go anywhere. It's going to go back down to zero. And what about now? They're the ones that are hoarding the most of cryptocurrencies. And their portfolio went from 1% Bitcoin just as a hedge to 2 to 3 to 7 to 10. Just ask Kevin O'Leary, for example. One example is Hungarian-born billionaire Thomas Peterfy, who owns Interactive Brokers Group Inc. He said that it's prudent to have 2 or 3% of one's portfolio in crypto assets just in case fiat goes to hell. It's a very, very big statement. He is stating that you should also add crypto to your portfolio as a hedge against inflation and as a security in terms of diversification. So his Interactive Brokers Group currently offers Bitcoin, Ethereum, Litecoin, and Bitcoin Cash, but it will be expanding that selection by another 5 or 10 coins this month. Interactive Brokers Group is incredibly massive, and the fact that they offer crypto trading and the fact that they're adding more cryptos to their platform says wonders about cryptocurrency and the belief that it's here to stay. He said that digital assets could reap extraordinary returns even if some could go to zero. So this is what we've been talking about, right? It's all about balance. We have a couple of crypto projects that will go to the moon, as they say, and there will be a bunch of crypto projects, maybe 90% of them, that will just go to zero. Because anyone can launch a crypto project. It's up to you and I, the retail investor, to investigate the team, to investigate the use case, just to investigate how the crypto works before actually buying the crypto. Because if there's no utility, why would people hold it? People would just dump it and it will go to zero. Everyone wants to tokenize everything, but that's not how it works. It has to have some use case. Also, Ray Dalio from Bridgewater Associates is another renowned billionaire that revealed his crypto contained some Bitcoin and Ethereum in 2021. And this is very important because Ray Dalio questioned crypto's properties as a store of value. He said, no, it's not good. It can go down to zero. It's not a good hedge against inflation. It's not a good store of value. He went against this statement and he actually bought Bitcoin and Ethereum. Billionaire hedge fund manager Paul Tudor Jones also bought Bitcoin last year, and he has called it a hedge against inflation. And this isn't surprising because once the pandemic hit, the only way to keep the US economy afloat was to print more money because the interest rates were already so low, there was nothing else they could do. And what happens when you print money? Inflation. A country that is used to 2 to 3% inflation every year saw inflation at 7%. More realistically, it was about 15 to 20%. So the value of your dollars sitting in your bank account eroded by 15 to 20%. These billionaires aren't dumb. So instead of letting their cash sit and erode in value, they prefer to invest in crypto, which has been going up and up and up since 2018. It's a hedge against inflation. It's also a good investment. And more of these billionaires are now saying that, crypto isn't that bad. Finally, on some NFT news, Eminem, for me, the world's best rapper. Some might argue against it, and I might get some dislikes for this. He purchased Bored Ape Yacht Club NFT for $462,000. He also acquired about 20 NFTs on OpenSea under the name Shading Holdings, and you can see that a lot of artists, now including Eminem, are big believers in the metaverse and in NFTs. And I think the trend of artists, athletes, and more influential people getting into the metaverse, getting into NFTs is going to be amplified going into 2022. I think the widespread adoption will lead to the metaverse becoming more and more common to the average Joe like you and I. So that's it for today's video. If you like the content, please leave a like, please hit the subscribe button. Hopefully you have a happy 2022, a profitable 2022, and I'll catch you tomorrow for the next video. Cheers.